Ahura Mazda, represented by a winged disc, the supreme deity of Zoroastrianism. The bas relief depicted here is of Zarathustra. The Aryans of ancient Iran were followers of the teachings of Zoroaster or Zarathustra. They worshipped the oldest Aryan deities, the Ahuras or Ahurs, shining gods who dwelt in the heavenly realms, and the Devas, Terras, the shining gods who fell and were transformed into earth-bound devils or fallen angels. The three wise men who came to Jerusalem to honor the fulfillment of the prophecy of Christ's arrival were disciples of Zoroaster and hence Aryans. In 1700, Thomas Hyde, a professor of Arabic at the University of Oxford, realized that rather than ornamental inscriptions, these cuneiform signs were an ancient writing. Hyde, turning to the writings of the Zoroastrians for insight, Avestan, the language of the sacred books of Zoroaster, written down in the 4th century AD, would provide the clues to the decipherment of cuneiform. Here we have the seal of Darius with the god Ashur, all seen represented by a flying disc. Now, the god of Zoroaster was named Ahura Mazda, which means Lord or Spirit. Ahura of knowledge or wisdom, Mazda. Zoroaster says that when he was 30 years old, Ahura Mazda had appeared before him, saying that he, Ahura Mazda, was the one true God. Ahura Mazda then proceeded to impart to Zoroaster many of the teachings which constituted Zoroastrianism. When we look to see what sort of creature Ahura Mazda was, we discover good evidence that he was but another custodian pretending to be God. Ahura Mazda is depicted in some places as a bearded human figure who stands in a stylized circular object. From the circular object protrude two stylized wings to indicate that it flies. The round flying object has two jutting struts underneath that resemble legs for landing. In other words, Ahura Mazda was a human-like god who flew in a round flying object with landing pads, a custodian. The implication is that Zoroaster monotheism, with its apocalyptic message, was spread in Persia with custodial assistance much in the same way that Judaism had been spread under Moses. As noted earlier, Zoroaster was an Aryan living in a region ruled by other Aryans. Aryan domination was so strong that the name of Persia was eventually changed to Iran, which is a derivative of the word Aryan. Zoroastrian works speak of a god fighting for the Aryan nations and helping them bring about good crops. Through its writings, primarily the Zen Avesta, and through its secret mystical teachings, Zoroastrianism did much to spread philosophies of Aryanism to other organizations within the Brotherhood network. Apocalyptic doctrines continued to be spread after the death of Zoroaster, especially by Hebrew prophets. The warning of these Hebrew prophets can be found in later books of the Old Testament. One of these prophets was Ezekiel, whose description of bizarre flying objects were looked at in chapter 7. According to Ezekiel's narrative, he was taken aboard a strange craft for the very purpose of being given an apocalyptic message to spread, indicating once again that custodians were the ultimate creators of Judgment Day teachings. The Zoroastrian god Ahura Mazda was depicted in ancient Persia as a human-like creature who flew in a circular object. The object is depicted with stylized wings and bird's tail to indicate that it flies. It also had bird's feet that look like landing struts. Depictions such as these were not meant to be literal images of the god, but were meant to portray the god in such a way so as to reveal its attributes. Zoroaster's god had the attributes of being human-like and flying about in a circular craft. So to me, Aryans means air, Aries.